Hi, welcome to my tutorial on C++ coding. This is my first episode slash part of my journey with you guys on how to learn C++ coding. So, moving on here is what we will learn. In C++ programs, you will learn how to read and write actual code using C++. So now let's get into our actual editor. Okay, so here we are at our text editor, and now before we get into any raw coding, before we start making games, whatever, there's a couple key concepts you need to understand before we start coding. So, the first thing is that C++ is a program that runs from top to bottom, meaning, for example, any lines of code you write here, the program's going to read it from this line to this line. Okay, not from bottom to top, top to bottom, okay? Another thing you need to understand is that C++ is a program that compiles. I will explain what compiling is and what that does for C++ later on, to not confuse you. But just keep in mind that it's a compiler, and I'll explain what that is later on. So, and the last thing you need to understand is that C++ needs a structure, and I'll explain that right now. So, in C++, everything you want to write has to be between these two curly braces right here. Anything between these two has to be right here. So the structure of a program is this. Include this line right here, and I'll explain what that is later on. But you need to include this to start writing programs. And int main with two parentheses, open and close, curly bracket, and you close it. Now, any line of code you write here. So, you don't know what these are yet, but understand that everything you want to code has to be between the int main, curly bracket, and between these two. You write code between these two things, okay? So, the first line of code that we need to write is outputs. What is an output? An output is something you basically just show to the program, show the user what you're writing in lines of code. Most fundamental thing is displaying what you want to write. So our first line of code that we're going to write is this. Okay. So this line of code basically is telling the machine, hey, output this word right here. Output hi. Now let's test it. There you go. Hi shows up right here. Again, there's a couple key things you understand. STD count is basically, this stands for standard character output. Okay, so this is the actual code, and this is my translated version of what it means. So STD count is this. It's a standard character output, meaning just anything you want to output onto your system is this. This is the code. This here, right here, the two less signs, basically it's like a space bar for your code. Like you're telling it, okay, this is std count is what you want to tell the machine what to do. That's like a space bar, and whatever you want to say is your message. This could be whatever. And this semicolon is very important. Each line of code has to end off with a semicolon. If you don't have a semicolon, it'll never read it, and it'll always keep on going. Just make sure you always have your semicolons at. This is like your period of your sentence, okay? So, now let's practice a little bit more. Let's say I want to say, hi YouTube. Again, so there's a couple of key things you need to understand. std count, hi YouTube. This is the spacebar, this is the message, and this is your period. You run it. Hi YouTube. Now, this brings me on to my next point. Notice here we have a hi, and here we have a hi YouTube. But when we look here, it comes up as like one line. Why is that? You need to add this other line of code to separate it. So, go back to your first hi. Between the two quotation marks, space, backslash, and backslash n. What is backslash n? Backslash n is a new line, basically. Backslash n stands for new line. A new line, basically, for the next line, this makes it its own sentence, or its own line, I guess. So when you run it, now it comes up as x1. It's not like one sentence. Because this little thing right here, it adds it like, oh, finish it off and move on to the next line for the computer. And yeah, you have officially made your first C++ program. Congratulations. Okay, so here we are at the text editor, and here I'll explain what a compiler is. Previously I didn't mention it to not confuse you guys. I just wanted to show you guys how to export messages onto your display. But in reality, it's not as simply as you write a message and you just run it, right? There's a thing you need to understand that, like, I did this automatically. I coded away where you guys see it automatically, but manually you have to show it, and I'll show you guys how to do that right now. So this is how you actually write code now. So here you have your messages and here you have another thing, another editor. You can write anything you want here, but this isn't like this. This is a computer editor. This is your compiler. Now what is a compiler? I'll explain it with demonstration. So here you have your messages, but when you press run, nothing's showing up here. Why? You spam run, nothing's running. That's because this is something for you to understand only. The computer doesn't understand this. To make the computer understand what you're trying to say, you have to create another file using this side, the black side of the screen. Okay? To do this, write G++ space and the file name from here. This is your file. You named it hello.cpp. Now the .cpp is just simply the stands for computer, C++. C++, and here's your file. You can name your file whatever you want, by the way. Anything for you to know it's this file. You can name it like anything. You can name it coding, whatever. But the .cpp is mandatory because you're saying this is a C++ program. So here you have our files, and to run this, write the same file name here, .cpp, okay? Right, G++ hello.cpp. The G++ is telling it, hey, read everything I wrote in this file name, which is hello.cpp. Read everything I wrote here into computer language. So look what happens. So this is our files right here. When I press enter, look right here, and a.out came out. Now what is an a.out? This is all of this confusing language you see right here is a computer understands this. You don't understand this, but the computer understands exactly what you wrote here now. Basically this is equivalent to this, but this is the human side, this is the computer side. Okay. Now to export this, it's for you to see what you wanted to write, like previously. Like here, you saw what you wanted to write, right? So to export just like this, what you want to see here, do this. // okay, // basically just tells to export it, and the file name, a.out. a.out. And there you go, hello, from here. Amazing, amazing, here you are. So you have successfully created your first C++ program, all by yourself. Okay, so here's a visual diagram of what I was trying to say earlier about compiling. Here you have your main C++ function, and once you put G++, what this does, it compiles all this information into computer language, something us humans can't understand, but a computer does. So it has all this, random alien language, and to see what you wrote in your C++ code, you want to write /a.out. like here I explained that // is an export, and it exports it to a hello because that's what you wrote here. Now, remember, your main.cpp goes right after your g++. So you want to write g++ with your main.cpp. So you have your function from your C++, the computer runs it, it converts it to its own language. To see its own language, you basically type this, and it just exports what you wrote here. Now, you find yourself writing code a lot. You always want to update. It's very tedious to do this, but let's say I want to add another line of code here. Hi YouTube. When I do always save here, this run is really like a save button in a way. So hi YouTube, and now, let me export it. You get this message here, segment fault. That's because you never updated. They detect the new information, but they don't know what it is because it's not translated in this thing yet. You need to write the same code again, g++ hello.cpp a/a.out. Now it will come out as hi YouTube. Now many people don't like calling it a.out because it's kind of like not easy to memorize. So to do this, you can always rename your files, and let's write the thing hello.cpp again. But instead now, don't press enter. Space dash O. The dash O is hey, rename the file. The dash O is rename the file. And anything you want to name the file to as a.out, instead of a.out, name it anything you want. Let's say I want to name it soccer. I want to name the translated version of this as soccer. That's okay. Now look what happened. Another file came up as soccer, and it's the same replica of this and this. It's the same thing. So now /soccer, and it comes up the same thing. And yeah, you have successfully compiled your program. Anyways guys, thank you all so much for watching. This is my first tutorial I ever made in my life. It really does mean a lot that if you actually watch the whole thing. If you have any questions, comment down below. I'll gladly answer your questions. Yeah, just go easy on me. It's my first tutorial, and I hope you guys liked it. Again, comment something if you didn't know what it was. And yeah, I'll see you next time.
It is touching the truth.